Welcome back to Superbly Said, Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
It's great to be back.
Now, this content comes from a SpeakDuo lesson, and just a reminder, you can go to SpeakDuo.com to meet new people from around the world who are practicing English on video calls to, build that confidence.
Which is so important.
Today, we're diving into 8 pretty advanced idioms that can add a lot of precision to your speech.
Okay, let's get into it.
We are jumping straight in with to fish out. So on the surface, this means retrieving something specific. But I have to ask immediately, why this phrase? Why not just say, I found my keys?
Because finding is it's too clean. It gives you the results, but it doesn't describe the struggle.
The struggle.
Yeah, fishing out is tactile. It implies you're reaching into a space, a messy bag, a deep pocket, where you can't really see what you're doing. You're using your fingers to sort of feel for the object among all the clutter.
So it's more about the messy environment the thing is in.
Exactly. If a book is on a clean shelf, you take it down. If you're digging into the bottom of a backpack for a pen that's buried under, gym clothes and old receipts.
Right.
You're fishing it out.
That paints a very specific picture. Okay, so in a workplace context, say my boss asked for a receipt from months ago. If I say, sure, let me find it, that sounds neutral.
Right. But if you say, give me a moment to fish that out of my expense folder, you're signaling something totally different.
What am I signaling?
You're subtly admitting the folder's a mess. You're telling your boss, it's in there, but I'm going to have to dig for it. It kind of lowers their expectations for speed.
It buys you a little bit of empathy for the delay, doesn't it?
It does. It's a very human phrase.
And what about for, say, an IELTS exam? Speaking part 2, for instance.
Oh, this is perfect. Examiners love sensory details. So instead of just saying, I showed my passport, try something like, I was getting nervous, so I had to frantically fish out my passport from the very bottom of my bag.
It creates a scene?
It shows you have the vocabulary to describe that physical awkwardness of travel.
Okay, so fishing out is about retrieving one specific thing from a mess. But what if we do the opposite? Instead of finding one thing, we just ignore all the details and mash everything together.
Ah, that brings us to lump into.
This is the idiom of lazy thinking, isn't it?
It really is.
The definition is putting different things into the same group without caring about the details. But how is this different from, say, categorizing? We categorize things in business all the time.
Categorizing is analytical. You use data. Lumping, on the other hand, is dismissive. When you lump things together, you're basically stripping away their individual nuances because you can't be bothered to understand them.
So it's almost always a criticism?
Almost always. It implies the person doing the lumping is being unfair or imprecise.
Like when people lump all teenagers into the category of lazy rebels.
Exactly. It's so unfair. It completely ignores the kid working 2 jobs or, the teen starting their own business. You're just erasing their identity to fit a simple narrative. I think it's risky to lump all our customers into one demographic. Our high-end users have very different needs.
That's a strong but professional critique. It's basically saying your analysis lacks depth.
Precisely. And for IELTS Part 3, where you're discussing social issues, this is a fantastic tool. If you're asked about modern art, don't just say it's good or bad. Say, well, I think it's unfair to lump all modern art into the category of meaningless just because some of it is abstract.
That shows critical thinking.
Yes.
So lumping into creates friction, and when you have friction, you need to fix it. Which leads us to our next phrase, to smooth out.
This is your diplomatic toolkit right here.
It's defined as making something easier or free from difficulties. But I hear fix, a relationship, or resolve an issue. Why smooth out?
Fixing implies something is broken, like a machine. You fix a printer. Smoothing out, that acknowledges the problem is often emotional or procedural. It's like a wrinkle in fabric. It's about managing egos.
Managing egos. Okay, give me an example.
Let's say a client just hates a proposal your team spent weeks on. You don't fix the client. You have to smooth out the relationship.
Meaning?
You might take them to lunch. You listen to their complaints, you lower the emotional temperature of the room. You're removing the roughness, the friction, from the interaction. It implies a much softer touch.
So a project manager might say, the engineering team was annoyed with the design changes, so I had to step in and smooth things out.
Exactly. It means you talked them down, restored the flow. For an IELTS candidate, this is perfect for describing how you've overcome a difficulty.
Right. Don't just say, we had a conflict and then we stopped. Say, there was some tension, but we had a meeting and managed to smooth things out. It shows you're focused on resolution.
Okay, so smoothing out deals with what's on the surface, but often the surface can be misleading. That brings us to more than meets the ear.
I love this one. Everyone knows more than meets the eye.
Right, this is the audio version. It means there's a deeper meaning than what you initially hear. Is this just about subtext?
It's often about deception, or at least a significant omission. It's like a warning flag that tells you, don't trust the simple audio you just received.
Like when someone asks how you are, and you say, I'm fine. Yes, the tone is flat, the volume is low. Acoustically, they said the words, I'm fine, but you know there is much more than meets the ear. They're actually devastated.
I feel like we need this phrase constantly in a corporate environment.
Think about a CEO's announcement. If the CEO gives a short speech about restructuring for synergy and then leaves without taking questions, you might turn to your colleague and say, that was way too short. I think there's more than meets the ear here. You're implying layoffs without actually saying the word.
You're saying the spoken words were a mask for something else.
Exactly.
How about for IELTS? Can we use this for arts or culture?
Definitely. Talking about a song, you could say, on the radio, this song sounds happy, but if you really listen to the lyrics, there's more than meets the ear. It's actually about a tragic event. It shows you can analyze contrast.
So if you suspect there's more than meets the ear and you're caught off guard, you might need a strategy. You might need to buy time.
Ah, this is a power move.
The definition is delaying something to gain an advantage. But how is this different from just procrastination?
Procrastination is passive avoidance. You're hiding from a task. Buying time is active and strategic. You are intentionally stalling the clock to let your brain catch up or to let the situation change.
So it's about taking control.
Exactly. Maintaining control when you don't have the answer yet. Imagine a negotiation. A supplier hits you with an unexpected price increase. If you answer immediately, you might get angry or agree to something you shouldn't.
So what do?
You say, that's interesting. I'll need to run these numbers by our finance department.
Even if you don't really need to.
Finance might not even care, but you're using that excuse to buy time so you can formulate a proper counter-strategy. You are literally purchasing a delay.
I've heard this is a great strategy for the IELTS speaking exam, too.
It is. If the examiner asks you a really strange question and your mind goes blank, do not just sit there in silence.
So you
use filler phrases to buy time. You say, wow, that's a fascinating question. I've never really considered that before. You're filling the air with high-quality English while your brain is frantically searching for an idea.
You're buying time to think. Okay, so buying time slows things down. But what if communication feels like an assault? Too fast, too much information.
That's when we use to pepper with.
This is such an aggressive image. It means including large numbers of something in a speech or text. But why pepper? Why not say sprinkle?
Sprinkling is gentle. It's like sugar. Peppering is sharp. Think of a peppercorn. It has a bite. And the motion is a rapid, intense scattering.
We often hear it in the context of peppering someone with questions.
Right. Think of a politician in a scandal at a press conference. Reporters are shouting, peppering him with questions about his finances. It feels like he's being hit from all sides. It puts the receiver on the defensive.
But it can be used for things other than questions.
For sure. A CFO might pepper their presentation with so much jargon that no one from the marketing team can understand it. It creates a barrier.
He peppered the talk with so many acronyms, I just got lost.
Exactly. For IELTS, you could use this to describe an author's style. She peppers her writing with historical references. It sounds so much more sophisticated.
So peppering is a conscious, rapid-fire effort. But what happens when you do something so often that the effort just disappears?
Ah, that's when it becomes second nature.
This is the state of flow, isn't it? Defined as a habit that's become instinctive. But how is this different from just being good at something?
You can be good at something and still have to focus. I'm good at spreadsheets, but I still have to think about the formulas. Second nature means it's so ingrained it bypasses your conscious brain.
Like driving a car to work and then realizing you don't remember the actual drive?
That's it, exactly. The driving has become second nature. Your hands and feet do the work while your mind is somewhere else.
Professionally, this is a great way to describe expertise without sounding like you're bragging.
Yes, an experienced coder might say, I've been using this language for 10 years. The syntax has become second nature to me. It just implies fluency.
And for us language learners, this is the ultimate goal.
It really is. You want to reach the point where grammar isn't a math problem. It's just second nature. You feel it's right before you even know why.
So second nature is about effortless progress. Our final phrase is the exact opposite. It's about getting stuck, to harp on.
This is about fixation, pure and simple.
It means talking or complaining about something repeatedly and annoyingly. How do we distinguish this from reiterating or emphasizing?
Reiterating is a tool. You repeat a point for clarity, to move a conversation forward. Harping on stops the conversation cold. It arrests all progress.
Why a harp?
Imagine someone playing a harp, but they're just plucking the exact same string over and over again. Pling, pling, pling. It would drive you crazy.
So it's not just the complaining, it's the stagnation.
Precisely. If you're in an argument and you apologize, but the other person keeps bringing up the mistake, you say, look, stop harping on it. You're really saying you're stuck in the past. We need to move on.
In the workplace, this is the sign of a toxic colleague.
Absolutely. The person who keeps harping on about a policy change from 6 months ago, the policy isn't changing back. By harping on it, they're just signaling that they can't adapt.
So knowing the difference between emphasizing a risk and harping on a problem can actually save your reputation.
One is leadership, the other is just being a nuisance.
Wow. We've covered a lot of ground, from the physical struggle of fishing out to the psychological stuckness of harping on.
These aren't just vocabulary, they're tools to control how people perceive what you're saying.
Absolutely. Okay, now to make sure these concepts really stick, we're going to do a little quiz. I'll read a scenario and then give you 3 options, A, B, and C.
And listen closely, because the nuance is everything.
I'll repeat the phrase a couple of times, and listen, feel free to pause the audio here if you need to think about the answer. We're not timing you. We'll give the answer right after each question.
Ready when you are.
Okay, question number 1. The phrase is fish out. Let's hear it again. Fish out. After rummaging through his messy bag for several minutes, he finally managed to fish out his keys. Does that mean, option A, to accidentally drop something valuable into a difficult place? Option B, to organize scattered items into a neat and orderly pile? Or option C, to retrieve something specific after a struggle or search? Feel free to pause here if you need a moment.
And the answer?
Is option C, to retrieve something specific after a struggle or search.
Right. Remember that struggle. It's not about organizing the bag. It's about diving into the chaos to grab that one thing.
Question 2. The phrase is lump into. Again, lump into. It is unfair to lump all modern artists into the same category without analyzing their individual styles. Is that option A, to group different things together without regarding details? Option B, to separate items distinctly based on their unique merits? Or option C, to criticize a group heavily for their collective failures? And the answer is...
Option A.
Okay, number 3, smooth out. The phrase is smooth out. The diplomat told a joke at the start of the meeting to help smooth out the tension between the delegates. Does this mean option A, to expose the underlying problems so they could be solved? Option B, to make a situation easier and free from social difficulties? Or option C, to ignore the serious issues in favor of superficial talk? The correct answer here is option B, to make a situation easier and free from social difficulties.
Yeah, he wasn't ignoring the issues. He just had to lower that friction, smooth out the wrinkles before the real work could begin.
Question 4. More than meets the ear. The phrase is more than meets the ear. The politician's simple statement seemed innocent, but I suspect there is more than meets the ear. This means option A, there is a deeper, complex meaning hidden behind the words. Option B, the statement was delivered too quietly to be heard clearly. Or option C, the message was exactly as simple and direct as it sounded. And the answer is option A, there is a deeper, complex meaning hidden behind the words.
Right, don't trust the surface audio. There's a hidden agenda, a secret meaning lurking under there.
Okay, next up, number 5. The phrase is buy time. Again, buy time. Realizing he wasn't ready to present, he asked a complex question just to buy time. Does this mean? Option A, to demonstrate his extensive knowledge to the audience. Option B, to delay the proceedings to gain a momentary advantage. Or option C, to finish the task earlier than the scheduled deadline. The answer is option B, to delay the proceedings to gain a momentary advantage.
It's not just stalling, it's strategic. He is purchasing a few minutes to get his thoughts in order.
Question 6, pepper with. Let's hear it one more time, pepper with. The professor tends to pepper his lectures with obscure historical references. This means option A, to remove all unnecessary details to keep the talk concise. Option B, to focus exclusively on one single topic for the whole hour. Or option C, to include large numbers of something throughout a speech. And the correct one is option C, to include large numbers of something throughout a speech.
Think of that peppercorn shaker. He's scattering those references rapidly and frequently all through the lecture.
All right, number 7 is second nature. Second nature. After 20 years of driving taxis, navigating the chaotic city streets has become second nature to him. Does this mean, option A, a habit or skill that has become instinctive and automatic? Option B, a task that remains difficult despite years of practice? Or option C, a new ability that he is currently struggling to learn? The answer is, of course, option A habit or skill that has become instinctive and automatic.
He's not even thinking about the route anymore. It's just part of his DNA now.
Okay, our final question, number 8. The phrase is harping on. Harping on. I wish you would stop harping on about that one mistake I made 5 years ago. This means option A, to forgive the error and move forward with the relationship. Option B, to talk or complain about a subject repeatedly and annoyingly. Or option C, to analyze the mistake logically to prevent future errors. And the final answer is option B, to talk or complain about a subject repeatedly and annoyingly.
He is stuck on that one string. Pling, pling, pling. He just will not let it go.
And that brings us to the end of our quiz. How did you all do? Hopefully, identifying these nuances is starting to become second nature for you.
And if not, don't harp on it. Just listen again and focus on the context.
That's right. And don't forget to practice these specific phrases in your next SpeakDuo session to make them stick. You can go to SpeakDuo.com to get started. Thanks for listening to Superbly Said.
See you next time.